Namaskaram. Let's continue our discussion on specified businesses, section 35 AD. So one more time, let's have quick look on the businesses, because this is what you are supposed to remember. So setting up and operating cold chain facility for specified good that we have already discussed: meat, agriculture produce, floriculture produce, milk product. Okay. So this business was entered into section 35 AD as on 1/4/2009. You are not supposed to remember date exactly, but yes, if you can remember, that's wonderful. Percentage of capital expenditure which is allowed as a deduction is 100% now constant for all the businesses. Setting up and operating warehouse facility for agriculture produce, this is also inserted here in 2009. Laying and operating cross-country pipeline for a natural gas. Now natural gas came in 2007 and petroleum crude has been inserted in 2009. Next, fourth business, building and operating hospitals, but hospitals should have minimum 100 beds for patient. It was introduced in 1/4/2010. Building and operating hotels of minimum 2-star category or above. So it was again introduced in 2010. Building and developing housing project under slum redevelopment scheme again in 2010. Building and developing housing project under affordable housing scheme in 2011. Production of fertilizer in 2011. Beekeeping, production of honey or bee wax in 2012. Setting up and operating inland container depot as per Customs Act in 2012. Setting up and operating warehouse for sugar. So this is the third warehouse, 1/4/2012. Laying and operating slurry pipeline for transportation of iron ore. This is the second pipeline or third pipeline, you can say. Natural gas, petroleum and iron ore, 2014. Setting up and operating semiconductor wafer fabrication manufacturing unit in 2014. Building and developing maintenance of infrastructural facility, road, tunnel, dams, highways, port, airport, 2017. Now certain note that we need to understand here is this. First, the deduction is available for all capital expenditure including plant and machinery. All capital expenditure including plant and machinery. Now here discussion is whether the plant and machinery should be new or old. Okay, old means second hand. So we have discussed definition of plant and machinery under two section earlier than section 35 AD. One was additional depreciation under section 32 and secondly investment allowance under section 32 AD, if you remember. And there in both section, old plant and machinery was not allowed as a deduction. Used plant and machinery, whether it is imported or domestic, but the benefit is given under section 35 AD for imported second hand machinery. So this is the only exceptional provision as of now, you need to remember. Then I will be teaching you similar kind of definition again in capital gain chapter. There we will speak about it one more time, but as of now this is the first section, first and last for your understanding, where imported second hand machinery, imported used machinery will be considered as new. And here domestic second hand is also allowed, because sometime if you are a Taj, and Taj Hotel is a 5-star hotel in Mumbai, Taj Mumbai is going to open Taj Trivandrum. Say for example, Taj Mumbai is going to open Taj Trivandrum in Kerala. Now you can understand some of the machineries can be shifted from Mumbai to Taj Trivandrum, no problem in that, because here the assets are shifting from normal business to specified business, and because they might be having excess machinery in Mumbai office, Mumbai hotel, so they can transfer some of the used equipment to new hotel, but not exceeding 20% of the value, and technically after this too, the balance amount of plant and machinery has to be new. So they are also allowing us to use not only see 100% new can be there. There are various combination I will take. Let's talk about plant and machinery. I am taking new, 100% new. Is it allowed? Answer is yes. Now I am taking plant and machinery. Okay, plant and machinery 50% new in India and 50% imported. Can it be done? Yes, because this 50% new is already new, and this imported 50% is also considered as a new. Then plant and machinery, say for example, 90% new and 10% use. Okay, is it possible? Answer is yes. 80% new and 20% old, yes, possible. But 70% new and 30% old is not possible. Then deduction will not be allowed under section 3580 because you are not complying with the condition. So here also they are requesting us to bring new, but they are giving us concessions to in respect of imported plant and machinery, and in respect of Indian plant and machinery to the extent of 20% of total value of the project. Next, all capital expenditure shall be allowed as a deduction excluding. So excluding, these are the negative capital expenditure. First is cost of land, which is famous. In all other provisions of PGBP also I have told you cost of land is not allowed as a deduction. Secondly, cost of goodwill and financial instrument. Now please understand, goodwill and financial instrument is not technically your plant and machinery or factory setup or building. So it's not a physical asset, it's just a you financial asset or asset created by you. So because it is not a real asset, we are not giving deduction for these two as well. So land, goodwill and financial instruments are not allowed as a deduction. And then I told you, from section 40A3, Government of India, through section 40A3, Government of India is discouraging cash payments exceeding rupees 10,000 in a day. So they don't say exceed cash, they say if you are spending more than 10,000 then it has to be by notified modes. Look at the language. Any expenditure in respect of which payment or aggregate of payments made to a person in a day, exceeding rupees 10,000 otherwise than by account pay check, account pay draft, electronic clearing system, and as per new amendment, okay, other notified electronic modes, okay. So this is technically non-cash modes. I say these are the non-cash mode. So other than cash, other than cross check, other than bearer check, so you should make payment which are which can be which are the reliable sources of reliable modes of payments. Government of India can easily understand, because here to claim more deduction, assessee may try to show fake cash expenses which cannot be possible if the payment is made by this particular checks. So this is one of the control point that they are having here. Shall not be eligible for deduction. So if it is exceeding 10,000 otherwise by these four methods, then it shall not be allowed as a deduction. If it is by this mode, then it will be allowed as a deduction. Next, one type of manipulation that assessees were doing, they were just changing the name of the hotel. So today the name of the hotel is the X hotel, and tomorrow they will just change the outer bold and they will make it as a Y hotel. So what will happen? And they will put inauguration board and all. So they are trying to show that they have constructed new hotel to claim deduction again. So this is something called external reconstruction in accounts. So we don't want something like that. We want new hotels to come into picture. That means a real investment should happen. Therefore this is another control point on tax evasion under section 3580. It says business should be newly established. That means it should not be formed by splitting up or reconstruction of existing business. It must be new. Okay. Then other assessees, there are lot of tax evaders in India. Some of the assessees, what they have started doing, they started purchasing asset and selling asset. Purchase new asset, claim 100% deduction, then sell the asset. Purchase the asset, use for some days, then sell it, and then buy new one, and then again claim 100% deduction. Instead of developing India, developing GDP of India, instead of developing productivity and employment in India, instead of using plant and machinery and creating goods, these people started manufacturing. Instead of manufacturing goods, these people started trading in plant and machinery, and therefore you can understand government has to put control over it, because you have claimed 100% deduction on particular plant and machinery under the PGBP chapter. even though if you are selling, say for example you had purchased this plant and machinery for 10 lakh rupees, even though if you sell this particular asset for 2 lakh rupees, okay, so this 2 lakh rupees cannot be taken to capital gain chapter. This 2 lakh rupees has to be taxed under business head, because deduction was taken under business head, and therefore any sale price, please understand, any sale price will be taxable under the business head itself, not under the capital gain in respect of asset on which deduction has been claimed under section 35 AD. So any amount received on sale or disposal of asset in respect of which deduction has been claimed under section 35 AD shall be taxable as a business income and not as a capital gain income, because it doesn't even enter into the block, okay, when you directly sell it. Now please understand. Next one, expenses incurred before commencement of the business. Expenses incurred before commencement of business shall be allowed as a deduction only if such expenses are capitalized in the books of account on the date of commencement. You tell me, to construct a hospital, okay, first will I inaugurate hospital and then construct it, or first I will construct it and then inaugurate it? Obviously you will first construct it, whereas this section is applicable only when you have hospital in the like running hospital, building and operating hospital. Now please understand, for operating hospital I don't have to incur much of capital expenditure. The huge part of capital expenditure will happen before I bring that hospital into operation. Therefore my question was very simple. I will obviously get deduction after commencement of the business under section 35 AD or any other provisions of PGBP. But what about expenditure that I have incurred prior to date of commencement? Construction, construction expenses, plant and machinery expenses, furniture expenses, which I have spent before I can commence my business. So they have said not only 1 year, not only 2 year, not only 3 year, any number of year, okay, any prior commencement expenses will be allowed as a deduction. Condition is this: you should capitalize those expenses on the day one of your business. That means you should pass journal entry in your balance sheet, a journal entry in your books of accounts, along with the evidences that you must have. So this is the audit point they are asking you. You must capitalize it in the books of account, then we will give deduction. Similar point we had also discussed in section 35. Prior commencement scientific research expenditures were also allowed as a deduction, but maximum 3 years. Here that period limitation is not there. Here you are getting deduction of 3 year, 5 year, 8 year, 10 year, whatever period. There is no limitation factor here. Next, profit linked deduction versus investment linked deduction. There are two laddus in income tax. If you take profit linked laddu, then you will not get investment linked laddu, and if you want to have investment linked laddu, then you will not get profit linked laddu. Okay, there are two chocolates. You cannot enjoy both chocolates at a time. You can enjoy one at a time, and therefore they are saying these are mutually exclusive benefit in income tax. If you are taking benefit of section 35 AD, then assessee cannot take benefit of chapter 6A heading C, which are the section 80 IA, IB, IC, ID, IAB, IBA, 80 80 QQB, 80 RRB. So those are the provisions which will not be allowed as a deduction, along with 10AA. 10AA is for special economic zone. So if you get investment linked deduction, you cannot get profit linked deduction, and if you want profit linked deduction, you should not claim investment linked deduction. This is a counter written in both the chapters. Okay. Next one is this section 73A. This is from set off and carry forward chapter. Before this, you already know, okay, some of the discussion that we have already done when we were discussing depreciation. You should know this. Okay, first thing, long term capital loss. Long term capital loss can be set off only against long term capital gain. This we will learn again in capital gain chapter. But short term capital loss can be set off against only against short term capital gain or long term capital gain. That means not against any other income. So it cannot be set off against business income, it cannot be set off against house property income, it cannot be set off against IFOS or salary. It can be set off only within the head. Okay, and that too within the head also you can understand. Long term can set off only against long term, short term can set off against short term as well as against long term, but long term cannot be set off against short term. So please understand these two laws. Similar law I had spoken about business also. There is something called speculative business. If you remember our lecture on speculative business, if you not, then please go and watch that lecture one more time. Speculative business laws can be set off only against speculative business income, and if you are not able to set off, then you can carry forward it for 4 years. So this is what I had taught you. Okay, and then I had taught you one more point, additional point, that normal business loss can be set off against, please understand, it can be set off against normal business income, it can be set off against speculative business income, and it can also be set off against specified business income. Normal business loss can be set off for, can be carried forward for 8 years. Normal business loss can be carried forward for 8 years if you are unable to set off in the current year with this head or any other head income. So here we are having 4 years, here we are having 8 years. Now let's learn the law for specified loss. Why there will be loss under specified, you can understand. I have told you the P&L account of specified business. Okay, this is the profit and loss account. You are debiting not only revenue expenditure, obviously you are debiting all revenue expenditure, you are also debiting all capital expenditure to your P&L account, and your revenue will be very low. Let's take example of hospital. To construct a hospital, you might spend 15 crore rupees. Okay, after spending 15 crore rupees, your first patient will come in the first year. He may pay you 100 rupees, second patient may pay you 500 rupees, third patient may pay you 1000 rupees. So gradually you will build up a revenue, and first year revenue might be around 1 crore rupees. Okay, whereas expenditure side is 15 crore. So we know that in this particular head under specified businesses, there will be loss for sure in initial years of the business, and there are certain businesses like cross country pipeline, warehousing facilities, where gestation period is longer. What is gestation period? Gestation period is the period where you reach at your break even point. Break even point means point where you recover all of your investment, all your expenses are recovered, and after break even point you will start making real profit. So if we had given you time limit only of 8 years, that would have been unfair to the businesses, because within 8 years they might not recover the amount of expenditure that they had spent in the first few years, first 8 years of the business establishment. Therefore, section 73A allows specified businesses to carry forward their losses to infinity. Mark my word, this is the only loss under set off and carry forward chapter. This is the only loss from the section 70 to section 80 which is having infinite life, unlimited life. Okay, so these losses can be carried forward for unlimited period of time. Similar thought I have told you under unabsorbed depreciation, but unabsorbed depreciation we don't carry forward under set off and carry forward provision, we carry forward it under section 32 alone. I'm talking about section 70 to section 80. There is only one section under which you can carry forward your losses for infinite period, and that section 35 AD, section 73A. Okay, loss from specified business can only be set off against specified business income. So like a speculative income, here also there is a condition. If such losses cannot be set off against current year income, then carry forward for unlimited period or infinite period. So this is one thing. Look at the combination here. Specified business loss can be set off only against any specified income. This any word is also important. I did not say hotel loss should be set off against hotel income only. Hotel loss can be set off against even warehouse. Why? Because even warehousing is also specified and hotel is also specified. I also did not say that if I having two hotels, I can have 3-star hotel loss and I can have 4-star hotel Please understand, 4-star hotel profit. So I can set off my 3-star loss against my 4-star hotel because both hotels are specified. Please understand, but I cannot set off 3-star loss against 1-star hotel because 1-star hotel is not specified. So this is what you need to understand. It can be set off against any specified business income, but it can be set off only against specified business income. What about normal loss? A normal loss can be set off against normal income, specified income, speculative income, because normal loss is the normal loss. If you are not able to set off this particular specified loss within in the current year, then you can carry forward it for infinite year, whereas normal business loss you can carry forward only for 8 years. We will revisit set off and carry forward provisions immediately after completing PGBP chapter, so that you will have better understanding of set off and carry forward of losses. Next is note 8. Note 8 I will cover in another lecture. Okay, so because I have covered so many points here, allow me to pause this video, cut this video here itself. Please go through these points and then I will take another session for question answer. Thank you.